Students, as in the last lecture, we have seen the translational partition function. In today's lecture, we will start with the rotational partition function. And the partition function is a simply distribution or the partition of the number of atoms, molecules, or particles in the available energy states. So, this is the partition, and as we learned, the molecular energy levels are like that. There are the electronic energy levels. These red lines are of electronic energy levels. Here, energy gap in between the ground state and the excited state is much larger. Then inside the electronic energy levels, there are the vibrational energy levels placed. So this yellow is the ground state of the vibrational energy level. This is the V0 and the excited is the V1. Again, here is the considerable energy gap in between V0 and V1. Then there is a rotational energy levels which are placed inside the vibrational energy levels of a molecule. So this R0 is the ground state. This green one is for the rotational energy levels. R0 is the ground state of the rotational energy level and the R1 is the excited state. Here the energy gap is less as compared to electronic and the vibrational energy levels. And then there is a translational energy levels which is placed in between the rotational energy levels. So this translation energy levels, as we have seen in the last lecture, they are rigid and very closely spaced. Almost they are merged into one another. Therefore, there is no spacing between the energy levels of the translational energy levels. Now, in today's lecture, we will learn the R0 and R1. These are the ground state and the force excited rotational energy levels, and we have to find out the rotational partition function. That means we have to distribute the number of molecules, particles or atoms in the rotational energy levels. So we will see the rotational partition function that can be useful for the diatomic molecules or the polyatomic molecules. So the polyatomic species can store energy as a translational motion, vibrational motion, rotational motion and the electronic excitation. As we know, the molecule has four types of motions: translational motion, vibrational motion, rotational motion and the electronic transitions. So electronic transitions are the highly spaced, then there is a vibrational energy state, then inside that there is a rotational and inside that the translational. So any polyatomic molecules having the four types of the motions, they can store its energy in these motions. So there are the two assumptions for the rotational partition function. First assumption is here: the molecular energy modes are separable. As we have drawn the diagram, there are four energy levels: electronic, vibrational, rotational and the translational. So according to this, the all four modes of energy are separable, and so that we can treat each mode has been essentially independent of all other modes. Means the electronic transition is independent of vibrational transition, then vibrational transition is independent of the rotational transition and vice versa. So all modes are separable and they all are independent. For example, vibrational modes are independent of the rotational mode. This is the rigid rotor assumption. And also vibrational modes are independent of the electronic modes or the electronic transitions, and that can be given by Born-Oppenheimer approximation. So simply we can see that the each mode of energy is separable and independent on one another. So this is the first assumption. Now we will see the second assumption. The molecule which moves at a high speed that cannot be forced to rotate or vibrate rapidly. Means simply we have a molecule and it moves with very faster rate or a high speed. So we cannot force that molecule to rotate or vibrate. And the separability of energy modes allows us to write the total energy of the molecule is. So all modes are separate, so we can write the total energy. E total is equal to E translational plus E rotational plus E vibrational and the E electronic. So for the diatomic molecule, here we can neglect the translational, vibrational and the electronic energies because we want to learn only the rotational energy and the rotational partition function. So we want to neglect all three types of motions which remains: vibrational, electronic and the translational. So we can write the total energy is equal to rotational energy, and rotational energy is equal to H into C into Bj into J plus 1. That is the equation to calculate the rotational energy. As we know, the definition of the energy is E is equal to h nu or Sc nu bar. So simply nu bar is a wave number and the rotational wave number is equal to this, Bj into J plus 1. So simply we can see h is a Planck's constant, C is the velocity of light, B is the rotational constant and J is the rotational energy level or the number of a energy level number. So that number will be 0, 1, 2 and 3. So this is the rotational energy, Sc into Bj into J plus 1. Now we know the equation of the partition function. Q is equal to summation of e raised to minus beta ei. So we have the energy equation, E total. So just we can write the terms in the equation of the partition function. Q is equal to summation of e raised to minus beta ei. And as we have seen, when there is a degenerate energy level or there are the energy levels having the same energies, that can be called as a degenerate energy states. So when there is a degenerate energy state, there will be a degeneracy. So degeneracy is given by Gi. So partition function equation became Q is equal to summation of Gi into e raised to minus beta Sc into Bj into J plus 1. Just I have written here, instead of Ei, the value of total energy, Sc into Bj into J plus 1. Now, when there is a degenerate state, the value of degeneracy for the rotational energy levels, it is equal to 2J plus 1. So you can write, instead of Gi, 2J plus 1. So that will be the new equation. Q is equal to summation of 2J plus 1 into e raised to minus beta Hc into Bj into J plus 1. Now, when there are many rotational states that are occupied and the kT is much larger, as we know, beta is equal to 1 upon kT. K is a Boltzmann constant and T is the temperature. And when Boltzmann constant into temperature, that value will be much larger than the separation between the neighboring states, that is V. Then the sum in the partition function can be approximated by an integral. Means simply when kT is very larger than the separation between two energy levels, then the sum in the partition function can be approximated by the integral. So simply we can take the integration of this value. We can remove Gi because now the energy levels are not degenerate. All energy levels are not degenerate energy levels. Only few energy levels are the degenerate. When degenerate energy levels are there, you can use this equation to calculate the partition function. And when there is a no degenerate energy level, you can use just equation Q is equal to, remove this Gi, summation of e raised to minus beta Sc Bj into J plus 1. So simply I have taken this equation here after removing this Gi, because here non-degenerate energy levels are considered. So rotational partition function QR is equal to this constant terms taken outside minus beta SCB as 1 upon beta SCB, and the integration goes from 0 to infinity dE raised to minus beta SCBJ into J plus 1, and this partition function changes with respect to the change in energy level number G. That's why here taken dJ into dJ. So QR is equal to 1 upon beta SCB as it is into e raised to minus beta SCBJ into J plus 1. Integration goes from 0 to infinity. When we put limit e raised to minus 0 or the e raised to 0, it will be 1. So the equation, and obviously e raised to infinity is 0, 1 minus 0, it will be 1. So we can write simply equation of rotational partition function is QR is equal to 1 upon beta SCB. That part will be neglected because e raised to 0 is equal to 1. And when we have QR is equal to 1 upon beta SCB, we know the value of beta. Beta is a constant. So beta is equal to 1 upon KT. Here B and beta both terms are different. Capital B is the rotational constant and beta is a simply constant which is equal to 1 upon KT. So we can write 1 upon beta SCB. Beta is equal to 1 upon KT. So KT will become here, and QR, that is the rotational partition function value, is KT upon SCB. Here K is the Boltzmann constant, T is the thermodynamic temperature. Now we can assume that this assumption is obeyed only at a certain temperature, and the temperature above which the approximation is valid, and this temperature is called as a rotational temperature, that is the theta R. So theta R is equal to SCB by K, and our thermodynamic temperature is greater than the rotational temperature. Theta R is the rotational temperature, and the value of theta R will be 15.26 when the separation of energy levels or the rotational constant value is given 10.6 per centimeter, and temperature will be 25 degrees Celsius. And the rotational partition function, there is a new equation for this also. If the theta R is equal to SCB by K, then the QR is equal to T upon theta R, which is equal to 1 upon beta SCB again, and is equal to KT upon HCB. So simply theta is equal to SCB by K again. Now for the symmetric linear molecules like carbon dioxide, the rotation through 180 degrees Celsius or 180 degree, not Celsius. So when the carbon dioxide molecule or the CO2 is rotated through 180 degree, it results in an indistinguishable states. Therefore, number of accessible states are half the number that can be occupied by heteronuclear diatomic molecule. And the new term is included in the definition of the rotational partition function is the symmetry factor. So symmetry factor, it is defined as the number of times a configuration is indistinguishable from each other and is arrived when an unsymmetrical linear molecule rotates through 180 degree. Simply, symmetry factor, that is a number by which we can get a indistinguishable configuration, and we have to rotate for that molecule through the 180 degree. So for general, any unsymmetrical unhomologous molecule, it possesses the QR or the rotational partition function value, which is equal to T upon sigma into theta R. So T is the thermodynamic temperature, sigma is the symmetry factor, and theta R is a rotational temperature. So this is the definition of QR, or the rotational partition function for unsymmetrical and the unhomologous molecule, is equal to T upon sigma into theta r. And these are the values of the symmetry factors for the molecules. For H2 it will be sigma is equal to 2 because there are two symmetry axes. For methane CH4, sigma is equal to 4. For HCl, sigma is equal to 1. For N2, sigma is equal to 2. So when we take any symmetric molecule, the sigma is equal to 2. Or when we take any homonuclear diatomic molecule, sigma is equal to 2. And when we have the heteronuclear diatomic molecule like HCl, sigma is equal to 1. And for the non-linear molecules, the rotational partition function can be calculated by using equation QR is equal to 1 upon sigma in bracket KT upon SC bracket raised to 3 by 2 in next bracket pi upon ABC bracket raised to half. So this equation is useful for calculation of the rotational partition function of a non-linear molecule having three modes of motions like A, B and C. That's why it contains the three rotational partitions. So by this way we can find out the rotational partition function of the homonuclear, heteronuclear or any diatomic molecule or the polyatomic molecule.